Hello, everyone. This is Motel A&M. I'm Michael, joined with
Alex.
It's a podcast where we talk about everything and anything.
So check yourself into your room and enjoy your stay.
Let's go. Welcome back, everybody. Alex, how you doing, my mans?
It's hot in my room, man. I'm sweating my
hot?
balls off.
Oh boy, I don't think those.
How are you doing?
I'm so glad that you asked that.
After 10
I'm
episodes.
I'm walking into my room and everywhere like a white girl coming out of Starbucks, bro. I'm living off caffeine right now. I'm a little stressed out today. I got insurance tings. I got urine. I had to wait like 2 hours to piss in a cup.
For what?
For my new job. I had to go do a drug screen and I had to pee in a cup.
New job?
Yeah. Let's not talk about that until a little bit later. But anyways, I was like, I'm only gonna be there for like 10 minutes tops. I literally just have to piss in a cup. And these people, lovely people doing their jobs, made me wait for 2 hours to do this. And then I had to rush home. Or I think I rushed home before.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to go. My day's all over the place. I'm so sorry. I'm just very upset today. That's all I'm saying.
Well, glad
That's
to
all
have
I'm
you
saying.
back, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. thanks for listening to my TED Talk. All right, I heard you got some announcements to make.
Yeah, so another milestone. Episode 10.
Episode, yes.
So we just hit episode 10, and apparently podcasts don't make it past episodes 3 to 5, so we're probably hitting our stride now at this point.
We're just jogging along.
Yeah.
The million miles.
Yeah, we're probably gonna get at 100 soon enough,
Yeah. Next week, maybe. Who knows?
I did have a fan fact check us on from our space episode. So apparently there is a pen that works in space. I did say that you can't use it because of gravity. So there's one called the Fisher Space Pen. It's a gas-charged ballpoint pen that is rugged and works in a wider variety of conditions, such as zero gravity, vacuum, and extreme temperatures. So,
I'll save it for when this person hopefully comes on.
Yeah,
How do they even make something like that, man?
I'm not in the pen business.
Oh,
I wouldn't know.
You should. You can make. You know how many pens are selling. All right.
Pens where we used to work at go missing like every day.
And we got another fact check, don't we?
Yeah. You want to take this one? Because you brought it up in the last episode.
I did. So I did do a little bit of research, and the Nuremberg, I guess it's not just like a soul festival. Nuremberg can be music festivals. It can be fall festivals. But the main one that I was talking about was the Christmas tree market. That one's actually going to be canceled this year due to COVID. 75 or 73 years since the last time that they closed it, which was during World War II. And it's kind of sad that we have to, I mean, not necessarily us, we should, but a lot of things that we used to be able to enjoy, like trick-or-treating, are kind of like
getting canceled.
Yeah, getting canceled.
It's just hard trying to live a normal life nowadays.
What's normal? What's even normal?
Well, this
normal.
I was gonna say, I was watching like soccer games earlier, and it's kind of weird like seeing like the stadiums empty, and it's like becoming like the new normal now.
Mm-hmm.
And then when like people start going back and be like, oh, this was normal back in the day.
All right. Speaking of normal, the most normal man, empty-hearted. I'm just kidding. He's not empty-hearted. He's a really great, big old giant teddy bear. Our second special guest. Frankie, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, what's up? Thank you for having me here, Ted. It's lovely here at the Motel A&M. Used to motels having the stench of, old dirty hobos and sex and drugs and alcohol and stuff, and it's lovely here. It's nice. You guys got a nice bedspread action here in this room.
Hey, you see that? I mean,
it smells great. There's a citrus bomb. Yeah, there's free HBO. It's lovely here. Thanks for having me.
Who gave him HBO? I thought that wasn't in our budget.
He's in our suite room.
He's in the
yeah. Oh yeah, no, you guys got me set up here very nicely. Thank you.
You're welcome. How you doing, Frankie? How you doing, my man?
I'm doing great, Ted. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Are you?
now that we, you know, man, I don't even care how I'm doing right now. I mean,
I
my
care.
room usually look at. You see this?
I know. What are you doing?
Usually I'd be like, I'm on that, you know. But today I was like,
Nah.
Ted, can I just don't give up, okay?
all
Just
right,
don't give up.
try not to, my man.
Don't give up.
It's been a while since we've talked.
Oh my goodness,
It's been
so
too
long.
long.
Yeah, way too long, man. That's the last time I saw you was at the wedding.
That's
That
true.
was the last time I saw you.
And I
And
was
now here we
fat,
are.
and I'm still fat.
Well, I will say this: you've slimmed down a little.
Oh, it's the camera. I mean, if I were to bring it up to like the real part,
Oh, gotcha.
yeah.
That's unfortunate.
It's all about the angles.
What was that?
It's all about the angles.
Oh yeah, I've been learning from Instagram how to do the right angles. You know, the
Lovely
higher you
angles.
go,
Lovely.
the less
Sure.
chins you have.
Oh, and always wear black. That's something
Always
I
wear
learned
black.
too. Always wear
You know-
black. It hides your gut very well. In fact, if you have any listeners, see, pretty cold in there, huh?
It's wildly cold in here. It's cold over here, my side, hot over there. I mean,
If any of your listeners want to look up any tricks on and tips and tricks on how to make yourself look slimmer on camera, that'd be something fun to do, huh?
for
Don't
me
you
or
think?
for them.
For
us.
just in general, just bring it up and talk about it. Golly, it's a podcast for crying out loud.
How'd you spend your Halloween? Because you know Halloween just recently passed, and we're not escaping Halloween. I don't care if it's November. Literally, like,
You're in love with Halloween.
dude, October came in through the door, nodded their head, and left. That's how quick it was.
I don't even think it curtsied at the door, just walked away.
Yeah.
Dipped.
No, yeah, and actually, nobody came to our house for candy, which I was a little surprised by because I know some people were looking for candy and stuff. But no, nobody knocked, nothing. So it was pretty quiet over here. We weren't handing out candy anyway, but yeah, I was a little surprised. I thought maybe I'd at least have some people knock. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like when you're not expecting anyone to text you, and it still kind of hurts when you don't get a text. It's kind of like that.
I love that
But
metaphor.
yeah, exactly. But as far as how we spent it, well, my family and I, we just hung out at the house. I barbecued some burgers and hot dogs, and we what do we do? we just had barbecue, and then we my wife and my daughter baked. They baked like a cake, and we carved pumpkins, which that was fun. I totally nailed the Dwight Schrute pumpkin, and if you would like to, I like to think so. I think it was pretty impressive. But if you'd like to see, I'll send it to you later. But
Yeah,
I like to think I nailed that Dwight Schrute pumpkin. As you know, I'm a big Office fan. And let's see, we watched scary movies and we had some junk foods, and it was a fun little night.
Had a great day.
It was fun, yeah. And
What's
honestly,
it like to have a life?
you know, it helps. It helps when you have a wife kind of giving you creative, fun ideas, and a daughter who we're supposed to celebrate her birthday on Halloween, but well, her birthday fell in the middle of the week, so that's why we're like, hey, let's just do something on Halloween. So that's kind of why we found extra fun things to do, I guess. But it was pretty fun, I must say. I'm not a big Halloween guy, gotta be honest with you. I do like it for the sense and the idea that I get to wear my Batman suit, which is always fun.
I was just about to tell you. Why don't you tell us about that?
Sure, if you would not interrupt me again.
Damn.
I'm just kidding. No, so I do enjoy wearing it. And well, we can dive into this a little bit in the next topic, but I do enjoy wearing my Batman suit because it's just I'm a big Batman fan, and it's always been fun for me to wear it on Halloween. That's the only reason I like it. But and this year I got my son, obviously, Ted, as you know, he's 8 months old now, so it was his first Halloween with us, and I dressed him up as Robin, so I finally have my little Robin. So yeah, it was a fun Halloween.
So way to segue into that. Give us a little bit more details about yourself. What are you like? What's your life like? Paint us a picture. I want to hear the Bob Ross storytelling.
Sure. Okay. So we're gonna take this
Must-
hunter green here,
Must.
and we're gonna paint a little bush.
Just
We're not
sit
gonna tell
back.
anyone about this. It's a Family Guy joke. Um. Well, I mean, I'm a pretty normal guy. No, I mean,
As you could tell.
yeah. I mean, as far as like what's going on in my life now, like I'm a married man. I recently got married last August. Family, thank you, family man. I have a daughter and a son now, whom I adore, and I work full time, so I'm living that American dream. But as you can imagine, my old days of playing video games all day and making 3 a.m. Jack in the Box runs or Denny's runs, those are over. Those are in the rearview mirror. But it's I mean, you give and take, my friend. You win some freedoms and and you win some I mean, what's the word here? I guess perks, but you lose some as well.
Yeah.
Pour one out for my boy.
Yeah, basically. As far as my individual freedom goes, yes, it's over.
When you said Jack in the Box, that's where you really had me. I was like, "Oh, we're Jack in the Box."
Oh, yeah, yes. We used to just 3 a.m. and hey, are you hungry? Yeah, dude. Okay, let's go to Jack, and we just hop in the car and go to Jack. And sometimes those nights included Ted, sometimes not, but those were always some fun nights.
Yeah, especially after closing and all your day just comes down and you're just kind of like, man, I'm tired. We're also like, I go for some fries right now.
Yeah, basically. So it
Why
was.
don't you tell us a little bit of do you have any goals you want to plan? You have planned out for next year that you want to kind of reach, or is there anything that you're working towards?
Well, it is funny you mentioned that because I've started writing articles. Oh, for those of you who don't know, I love football. That's like my big thing. Well, one of them. That's really the only thing I have for myself now. But I do love watching football and stuff. Unfortunately, I'm a Falcons fan, so half the time I want to strangle myself, and I don't understand why. I'm in an abusive relationship with them, where they consistently get my hopes up, and then they find spectacular ways to lose games, and it's incredibly frustrating. But I am a Falcons fan, so I started writing like fan post articles and stuff at the Falcoholic, and I'm actually kind of hoping to start a little podcast myself in regards to the Falcons. So that's something there I might start doing. Just because I feel like I'm very opinionated on them, and sometimes I say things and I feel like no one listens, obviously. and then later somebody makes a point that I totally could have taken credit for, and I'm like, what am I doing here? I'm just letting my ideas out and nobody cares, but somebody and like a pundit on the NFL Network or something, they'll get it out there, and it's so it's like I said that months ago, but whatever.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I always love to hear, like, I always wait to see what you post on your social media. It's always funny. It's just I feel like you're the manager.
Don't laugh at my team.
You're the manager of the team. We need to fire this man. Get him out of here.
Hey, what happened? We fired the coach. What happened? What did I tell you?
You did call
somebody else, and someone else took the credit. He's been on the hot seat first.
When I saw that happen, I was like, Frankie did technically call that. He needs to get rid of the coach.
No, but okay, I can't say I took all the credit for it because the truth is he'd been on the hot seat since last year. But I was like, come on, what are we waiting for? I mean, let's pull the trigger. You guys want to keep losing like this? I don't. So.
Was that the same coach that lost the Super Bowl?
You had to bring that up, didn't you?
Yeah,
look at you.
It's the one thing that I remember.
You have a smug look on your face there, Alex. Yes, if you must know, it is the same coach. It is this. God, and Ted, you're a Patriots fan. Oof. You know how? See, during the game, you're a casual. You're not even casual. You're very much like whatever, but you're assigned to the Patriots, I guess we'll say. And you actually texted me in the third quarter of that game. Congratulations on the win. And I was like, Ted is such a good sport. But the game's not over. I was actually pushing for it. I was like, we gotta keep staying aggressive. But when Ted texted me that, I didn't respond because I was like, I don't want to jinx it. And then, the rest of the game happened. And I was not as gracious as Ted was in defeat. Matter of fact, I just ignored him. I don't think I talked to Ted for several days until like the next time I ran into him in person. And yeah, so I was not gracious in defeat as Ted was. But as you know, I'm passionate. Ted's very casual. That explains it right there. So
Yeah. I've always watched football, but I think I have a lot more fun playing,
yeah.
With Sid.
two-hand touch or on the street compared to watching it. I used to watch it just for the ads, and then now I watch it whenever I can.
That's a
Well, the
casual
Super Bowl
fan.
commercials.
Yeah, the Super Bowl commercials. I mean, because really,
They haven't been that great in recent years, to be
they really
honest.
haven't. I feel like the last ones that were like 2003. I don't know why I'm giving you that
Yeah.
reason, but
Yeah, I don't even think like some of them even tried this year. I think they just played like regular commercials. Honestly, they're just mailing it in. They're like,
just
here.
give it. Like
I don't want to
students
make
writing
another one
some
of
essays.
these stupid commercials. God.
Uh,
So, Ted, can we talk about how we met, man, and why I keep calling you Ted? I mean, geez.
yeah. Go.
So I met you in hell. We'll just call it that. And
Very accurate.
yeah, I met you in hell, and when I first met you, I got to be honest with you, Ted, I didn't like you. I thought, look at this bozo over here, just cleaning everywhere, trying his best. Does he not know how it works around here? And I just thought you looked kind of like a suck up, and but I got to know you, and you're a swell guy.
He's like, yeah, you all right.
I'm alright.
You're
all
okay.
right.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, when we first worked together, we were okay, and then I don't know where like that shifted, where we eventually like did not like working with each other at all. Like you were closing drive-through, I was closing counter. I'd just be mopping and sweeping. I was like, gotta get out of here.
No, it was just it was such a funny experience though, because honestly, that was kind of probably where you and I ended up clicking the most, was because they kind of stuck us there together, and it was really cool because I don't want to brag or anything, but we're pretty good at closing, I must say.
We were the
And
stars.
yeah, and and God, I mean, I like to refer to those years as the golden years. They were just, it was a lot of fun because we became friends, and then the people we worked with, those managing us,
Dude.
were very cool guys. It was just a lot of fun back in those days, and that's where really Ted and I started becoming friends.
We saw the same thing. I mean, we literally saw a manager tell a guy, "You didn't give me my food." And the other guy looked right at him like, "Yeah, I did." And the guy's like, "You idiot! No, this is just the bun."
Oh, there's 1,000 stories we can cover, dude. Speaking of playing football, do you remember how after we would close, we would sometimes some of the guys would come over and we'd play football in the parking lot?
And didn't you peg someone in the face?
Yep, that was awesome. I love that guy. So he was running a route. God, I want to say his name so bad. He was running a route, and I don't know who was covering him. Was it I don't remember who it was, but he stopped running, and I thought he was gonna still run, so I kind of threw it, leading him in one direction, but he ducked his head down, he was just he got tired of running, I guess, and he put his hands on his knees, started catching his breath, and just as he was doing that, the ball just collided with his cheek, and he left it. It left a huge red mark on his face. He's really light complected, so it was extra noticeable. It was pretty hilarious. Nailed him.
I remember him just stared at us like as soon as he got hit. He was like,
I was like, "Are you okay?" Like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And he used to get. There was another play where he was running down the parking lot, and I threw the ball and I let him perfectly. The guy, bless him, he caught that sucker with one hand, I think, and he's about to score, and he loses his balance and just eats shit on the floor. And this is a parking lot. It's not grass. We were playing a parking lot. So he just fell and stumbled into the end zone. Ah, God, it was glorious.
that poor soul.
Oh, poor bastard.
Never saw him after
I
that
love
night.
it. I love him though. Love you.
To answer your question with the Ted thing, I was named by another manager because I forgot my name tag, and they were like, "What's your name?" I was like, "Michael." And she goes, "You look like a Ted. I'm gonna call you Ted, but with 2 D's." I was like, "What?"
Double D's, making a fat joke right off the bat, went right over your head.
And so I went ahead and I wore that damn name tag with the name Ted. And I remember multiple times I was told to take it off because that's not my name. And I remember one manager was like, "Michael, you need to understand, if a customer comes up with a complaint or a compliment and they say it was Ted, we don't have a Ted here. What am I supposed to say to them? Who am I going to give that compliment or complaint to?" I was like, "Listen, I've been asking for their name tag and no one wants to give it to me." So for about 2 years, I had that name tag and it said Ted with 2 D's on it for like the longest time.
And I didn't care. And I just didn't care that your name was Michael anymore. It was just Ted.
It was just the names just kind of stick like that, and
I was like, it's Ted. That's all there is to it. It's Ted.
for the most part, I didn't know who Ted Bundy was.
Oh,
And
shit.
sometimes he would be like, "Hey, Ted Bundy," and I was like, "Eh." I had no idea who this malicious man was.
Totally just pegging you for a serial murderer. But,
I guess so.
Jeez. But no, it was, I mean, we had plenty of good times out there, and I met plenty of good friends. I give that place a lot of crap, but honestly, I met a lot of good friends there. A lot of great people. Had a great experience. Had some horrible ones, but it's a fun little chapter of my life.
It was a roller coaster.
Yeah. Real quick, just want to give a quick shout out. Cheat 'em all day, big man. My boy, Big Spatch.
Oh,
Yeah. Love you guys.
I hope he listens to this.
bro, he'd be like, "Dog, when Frankie shouted me out, I got so happy, dog."
That was my favorite part,
That was
bro.
my favorite part, dog.
All the other episodes suck. This is my best one.
This is the best one.
All the other episodes suck. This is the only one that matters. You remember that time Frankie said that, dog? Pretty cool, bro. You're gonna use that as a pickup line.
You mentioned,
You ever heard Motel A&M? You know that guy Spatch in that one episode on episode 10? That was me.
That's me right here, dog.
I could prove it.
It's kind of, I can totally picture him saying everything that we're saying right now.
I love you, Spatch.
You mentioned starting a podcast, so I don't know if you'd like to share this. We talked a little bit about it earlier. You did podcasting before. How'd you like that?
Oh man, you know what? It was. Oh, sorry. It was a lot of fun. It's actually really similar to what you guys do. It was a podcast I had with my little brother and two of other of my best friends, and it was actually really similar to what you guys do in the sense, you guys talk about anything and everything. Ours was we talk about random shit, and we called it "That's What We Said." Again, as you know, we're big Office fans, especially me. And Michael Scott's catchphrase, "That's what she said." We just kind of made a play on that. So that's how that came about, the name anyway. But yeah, it was fun. We just sat around in a circle, and we talked into a mic, and we just BS the whole time, and it was a lot of fun. We had guests on too, and that was a fun thing we were doing. But as many podcasts don't last, unfortunately. You kind of have to be consistent, and it kind of just got to a point where we weren't doing them consistently anymore. We just got kind of lazy. That's kind of actually one of my big regrets. I kind of wish we had kept doing it, but it was a lot of fun doing that, man. We were, again, it's kind of like what you guys. We're a little more vulgar than you guys. We didn't have a filter, but I may have cussed already on this, but yeah, naturally, I like to speak my mind, and I'm very opinionated, and so occasional left bombs will fall in there, and that was all four of us. That's just how we spoke. It was a lot of fun, and we just, like I said, we stopped doing it, and actually our account got hacked once too, which was weird because we didn't have very many like I think like the biggest episode we had or whatever was probably like only 130 something views. And I don't see why anyone would try to hack that account. It wasn't the stellar channel with so many subscribers. I think I only had like 12 subscribers. So it wasn't like a huge smashing success. I don't understand what that
Oh, but
person saw. He saw potential on that channel, you know, and I
like
just didn't fulfill it.
these guys
Yeah,
are
yeah.
gonna get over now.
This is the one I want to hack.
Yeah, sure. You know, if that person in Denver is still looking to hack a channel, this is the one right here.
Not,
But we actually
Not
didn't
this
have we didn't have any like you know, other platforms. Really, we just uploaded videos to YouTube, so it wasn't like official podcast audio friendly thing or whatever. It was just us again, just BSing, and you know, I just took the audio, put it on a movie or whatever, and put like a image that we definitely didn't own. we just drew over it like and put some of our little touches on it. But God, yeah, that was a fun time. You know, I really regret not sticking with that because I feel like it would have taken off eventually, but we just didn't stick with it. So I'll just say, you know, you guys, you're can I just say, like, you guys are doing a great job so far. Ted, I'm really proud of you. And this thing is going in a great direction. So that would be my advice to you guys. Keep being yourselves, stay consistent, and you know, I have faith this thing will take off.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
starting out in the rooms.
Yeah, no, it'll be a studio later on, and you know, pretty soon you guys are gonna be you'll be huge. I can see it.
That would be like really amazing. But as far as me and Alex are concerned, like, we're doing it because it's super entertaining. It's fun, especially like after you end the episode and you're like, man, that was a really good episode. And there's plenty of times where Alex is like, we could have kept going, and it's not like those where it's like, well, we got to keep going on another episode. Let's keep going, let's keep moving, see how we can improve. I think a very satisfying I guess like factor is listening to our improvement over the episodes. Like episode 1, I hate how I did that countdown, and I told Alex to take it off. He's like, no, keep it in. He's like, keep it in, and I'm kind of glad that he did it because, you know, it's a starting point where we started, obviously, and then as we grow and progress, we'll be able to hear and see all the wonderful changes that happen. What do you?
Yeah, and honestly, as a listener, which I've listened to all your episodes, and this is constructive criticism, okay? Don't hate me for it, but you sounded.
Get him out of here.
I was like, in the first episode, I was like, please speak up. Please talk like a normal person and not this monotonous creature who is on behind the microphone right now. I don't know who this is. And it just, yeah. And but you know what? You guys are you're coming into your own, you're hitting your stride, and it's improved a lot. I heard, I don't know the number off the top of my head. I want to say it was like 4 or 5, but you like came out of your shell. You were just vibrant Ted as I come to know you. And that's when I told you, yes, that's what you need right there. Grasp that energy. Go there. Use that.
Use that. What's kind of been like kind of like a reward for you, Alex, with the podcast and everything?
I just like seeing like the thing that we were like, we started at, let's hit for 20 minutes, and then like the first episode was like an hour. And then we see our growth like in listens like every day, even if it's a little, but it's just like we haven't even been doing it for a month, and we're already like almost at 300 listens.
Especially like foreigners outside of our country. It's just like people actually kind of want to like listen to it. It's like, I think you know, I'm hoping that they keep continuing to come back with the Ireland. Come back, man. That's so cool. Like they kind of like already, even if they don't listen to us often.
Shout out to Ireland, man. That's really fucking, dude. That's really cool. Sorry, I let enough bomb go. That's really cool.
It's okay.
That is really cool, dude. That you guys actually have listeners outside this country. Like, that is awesome. You know, that's an accomplishment in and of itself. Mm-hmm. You know, you're reaching that far already. I mean, like I said, if you just keep doing this, I mean, you're gonna have more to domestic listeners, and it's just that's crazy. That is crazy, honestly. That's wild.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
And speaking of wild, Frankie, it's big. This what we're about to talk about next is big, and I kind of want to kind of get your opinion and hear what you got to say. We're gonna say, Alex.
Oh no, I'm curious to see what you're gonna ask him.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Man, I feel like we're totally pushing Alex to the side here, and that's not fair.
Oh
I'm
no,
sorry, Alex.
it's interesting. Listen to your guys' stories and how you guys came to meet.
And so, what do you think about what's going on in the world
We
with COVID?
came to meet. Oh, sorry, I'm slightly immature. Well, you told me first it's big, and then you said came to meet. I mean, this is going in a dirty place. Anyway, so COVID. I actually have the damn thing. So,
Oh, lovely.
yeah, that sucks. I mean, it doesn't. Well, here's the thing. I don't want to say. I'm going to tell you my personal experience with it, but I don't want people to think that that's what it is, because my immune system is different from somebody else's. But I'll tell you how I felt. Okay, so I tested positive for it, and I tested positive for it last Tuesday, and to this day I haven't felt any symptoms at all. So it's been about 10 days or so. I've never felt anything. I've never felt sick. I've never felt like a cold or anything, a cough. I never lost my smell or my taste, nothing. But my wife did. My wife also had it, and my son, poor kid, that broke my heart. He got it too. Well, we didn't test him, but I'm pretty sure he had it because he exhibited all the symptoms, and he good poor guy. It breaks my heart just thinking about it. That I will say right there, Ted. I don't mean to digress, but that's where I became a teddy bear with my son and my kids.
Yeah.
That's where I'm a teddy bear, not anything else. But well, I'm sure for my wife too. Anyway, but I haven't felt anything, but my wife did lose her sense of smell and taste. She also had a cough and didn't feel very well. My daughter lost her smell, and I don't know if she lost her taste, but anyway, the point is, yes, some people aren't afraid of the virus or whatever because they know their immune system's strong and stuff. Like I said, I haven't even felt the symptom and I tested positive, but be considerate for others is what I would say. The mask really, at the end of the day, it may not be for your own protection because you don't fear it, or if you do, you're going to be okay. The majority of us will be okay, but you have to think about others who it will hit and it will devastate and it will cause more alarming issues. Because honestly, again, someone like myself, I never even felt the symptom, but there may be somebody else whose immune system isn't as strong, and they're the ones that are at risk, and they're the ones we're trying to protect. So, that's what I would say is protect yourself, and you don't even know if you have it. Like me, honestly, if my wife hadn't tested positive and I didn't go get tested, I wouldn't have even known I had the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's crazy, and it does suck. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but it does suck what's going on with the world. I mean, I'm just like everyone else. I'm ready for normalcy to return, and I mean, it sucks because we bought my son all these clothes to like dress him up and take him out to like the parks, and when we go out to the malls and theaters and stuff, go do fun family things, but we can't do anything, and we're just holed up at the house, and it sucks. But I mean, hopefully that's why we all got to do our part, and we can hopefully overcome this and get back to some normalcy, and and we can start enjoying the things in life, the little things. We took them for granted, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I'm gonna bring up Alex. No, you tested negative, but you exhibited signs, and you actually went through kind of your own little mini symptoms, COVID-like symptoms, but you didn't have it. And you had a totally different experience. No, I've already said it once, twice already. I'm gonna say it a third time. Like, you didn't have it, but you felt like you did.
Yeah.
You wanna go on your experience with it?
It just felt like a really bad flu, where I couldn't even I felt it was starting to get cold. It was at the start of this October, I think. I was gonna say this month, but this month just started.
Mhm.
Um, but I just got like the fever out of like nowhere. Like I was feeling fine, and I just had sweats. I couldn't even like my whole body just ached for no reason. And my dad was showing the same thing because I know I got it from him because I couldn't have gotten it anywhere else because we were all at home. But I was like, man, this is gonna be COVID because it's pretty much like the flu
Mm.
because I was looking up the symptoms.
And I was worried. I was like telling myself like I hope he doesn't have it. I hope he doesn't have it because from what he was already telling me, it looked like he was if it was COVID, he was like not trying to be mean, but you were going downhill technically
Hmm.
from what you were every day that you were telling me your updates. It sounded like you were getting worse, and I was like I hope it's not. But once you said it wasn't, I was like whew, he just got a really bad case of flu. Because we are entering a lovely flu season.
Yeah.
Again, everybody gets those lovely flu shots and whatnot.
That's
And
another thing too. People need to be mindful of, and that's why it's also important to protect yourself. Is that you don't know if what you have is the flu or COVID. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Those are two different things. So always, just listen to the science, man. That's what they're there for. They're paid adequately to know these things, so they can tell us. We don't listen to the Instagram doctors who are telling you, this and that. Just listen to the science. Just believe it. Hope and just protect yourself. Wash your hands. Stay away from people if you feel sick. All that good stuff.
and I think personal hygiene, in terms of like hand hygiene, is also extremely important. And it's something I don't think I've ever really paid more attention to than this year than ever because
Hmm.
I work uh, in the medical field, and it's somewhat normal, but now I'm even more cautious, especially going in and out of COVID positive patients' rooms.
Hmm.
And, you know, not only just having it on my hands, but having it on my clothes from work. Uh, Usually we have like these spray bottles, and you have to like kind of spray yourself down. And so if I feel like if I take too long to do it, I'm already paranoid. So that's something really good that both you guys kind of keep in your heads, like just the hand hygiene, just kind of be more mindful of what you're touching, especially when you go out into the stores, man.
Hmm.
Yesterday, I talked to Alex about my experience at the gym, and I don't want to retell that story because people hear it already. But oh, let me tell you, I wanted to fight some kids. To keep going, CNN reported that the last week of October, 61,000 cases um, came out positive in kids. Are you nervous about that? I know you also have a daughter, and I don't know if you
Well,
put her back in school.
Well, no, my kid's not in. She's still doing online classes, but I mean, we already got it anyway, So
Yeah, I get it.
we're
That's true.
we,
What's that
we
over?
already got. I mean, it is what it is. We got it,
Double
but
COVID.
yeah, double COVID, totally. No, but we're just happy to, we're getting over it. Well, at least my wife and kids are. They're the ones who I care about the most. You know what I mean? Like I just, I hated seeing them sick, and it was even worse that I didn't feel anything because I kind of felt like, dang, my family's suffering and I'm over here like a-okay, and I'm kind of in that mindset of if I could take their pain away so I can go through that and they'd be okay, I would. But it just kind of sucks when you see them there, going through what they're going through, and you can't really help them. That you feel totally helpless, and that's what really sucks. And again, that's what people need to consider. It's not so much yourself. Yes, you'll probably be fine, but there are other people who won't be fine. That's what they need to think about. But can I just give a quick shout out to you, Ted, and to all the medical workers who are on the front line of this thing, man. Thank you for all that.
Oh,
So
thanks, guys. Thanks,
yeah.
everybody. We all do our parts. Thank everybody.
Mhm.
Even if you don't think your job's important, I mean, you gotta think no one else is doing the job that you're doing. For both of you guys, you both, contribute a big part to our community. So, thanks to you guys as well.
I'm
Yeah,
just
America needs a coaching pep talk, man. Come on, guys, we're gonna win this together, all right? Get it together. What are we doing out here? Wash your hands, man. Wash your hands. Put your mask on. What are you doing? We all need that coach in our life to kick us in the keister, you know.
It really, especially now, probably more than ever, we need some guidance. But it's always going to be a circle of people that care enough to listen
Mm-hmm.
and not necessarily obey, but respect each other. And then there's people that actually do respect each other, and it's always that those two sets of groups. I can't talk, man. English is not my first language anymore. I don't know where.
You're unraveling here, Ted. You're
I'm
unraveling.
hammering.
Come on. What are you
All right.
doing?
I've been talking a lot. I want to hand the mic over to my good boy, Alex.
I forgot I was still here. I was taking a back seat this whole.
I know, and I'm sorry, Alex. I feel like I totally cut you off. You were going to say something, and I cut you off. So
Oh
I'm
no,
sorry.
Mike.
Anyway, so what else? No, I'm kidding.
Mike was talking about being an important part of the community. I was like, I'm just making America fat. We're getting fast food.
That's also another thing. Watch what you guys are eating, man. That's because I have fatty liver and it sucks. I can't eat anything. I can't eat what I used to eat, and it really sucks. And I have to like be on like a special diet, or the doctor is like, if you don't take care of this, you'll have health problems later on.
GG.
Yeah.
And I'm 29. I'm not like old, you know. Well, I don't know. It depends who you ask, but I mean, someone such as myself who. Okay, so here's how I found out. Can I just say this?
Story time.
So when I found out that I had fatty liver, I weighed 220 at the time. Now I'm like 5'9". I've kind of generally always been at 220, and 220 is like kind of been a good weight for me because I used to lift a lot, and that was kind of like an ideal weight for me, or at least where I wanted to be personally. But I stopped lifting, and I was still 220. In other words, I kind of got a little chubbier. Okay. So when my doctor called me to tell me, yes, you have fatty liver, I was like, it's crazy though, because I don't feel like I have health problems or I'm obese. Yeah, and she said, no, you're obese. I said, oh, how dare you? You're just gonna insult me over the phone like
You
this.
are fat.
Yes, she just straight up called me fat to my face over the phone. So I was like, okay, what the hell? And then. Yeah, so but you know what? I have been on a diet, or at least I cut out a ton of carbs, I'll say, and I'm not eating that much junk food and stuff. I'm happy to say I'm at 205 now, which is a far cry from where I was. So I thank you, Ted. But it is important to watch what you eat, you guys. I know you want to take your kids to McDonald's or Jack in the Box because you don't feel like cooking, or maybe you want to be a little dirty with your diet and stuff. I get it, but just try to limit it. Health tip from good old Frankie, because I care about you.
Also, you're not doing those 3 a.m. Jack in the Box runs.
No, my wife will be very curious as to why I keep leaving the house at 3 a.m. But imagine there's a lot of couch sleeping nights if I ever was to do that. Good times.
I'm gonna low key stop talking because I know there's a few things you brought to the show today.
Talking to me?
Yeah,
I was like, I didn't bring anything.
There's another person here.
Bro,
Yeah.
Real quick, what's going on? Before I give the mic to you, what's going on in my room? Why did it get so dark?
I know you're like in a cave now.
I've never had this happen to me. Like we literally like less than 2 miles away from each other.
It doesn't even look like you have a background.
We're like 2 miles away from each other, and look at the room comparisons. His is still bright. Mine's over here.
Well, I have a light on behind me.
How symbolic is that, Ted? Your show started out with you in lightness, and now you're just in darkness.
Darkness, I get my flashlight.
How symbolic is that? Golly.
All right, Alex, take it away, my man.
All right, Frankie. What I had a question, and it was asked to me. Kind of put you on the spot a little. Is there anything on your bucket list that you want to share with the people?
Handing the torch. I like it.
It's funny. I've heard this question on here a couple times, and I've thought about that too. I was like, "Whoa, what would be on my bucket list?" And I was thinking, the first thing immediately that went into my head was travel, but I was like, that's like everyone's bucket list thing, And so I was like, I got to think of something else. So, there is, in regards to traveling, yes, I would like to go to Europe. I kind of have like a top 5 list, at least in Europe, that I would want to hit up. I want to go to I want to go to Berlin. I want to go to Rome, Paris, London, and Spain. And I say Spain because I want to go to Barcelona, which is technically in Catalonia or whatever. But I also want to go to Madrid. Now, there's a reason why I want to go to Barcelona and kind of put Madrid in seconds, because I actually want to be in Spain. But I'm a Barca fan, so that's kind of where. You got something to say there?
I'll keep it
Alex?
to myself. I'll keep it to
Okay.
myself.
Yeah, hello Madrid, huh? Whatever.
Nah.
Anyway, so I do want to go to those places. And you know, there's always places that come up that I'm like, oh, dude, I would love to go to Dubai, or I'd love to go to Egypt, and I'd love to go to, you know, I don't have that much money, so. But other bucket list things too is like would be to definitely want to go to Atlanta. I want to go see Philadelphia, New York, Seattle. I want to go to Minnesota to see like the Great Mall of America and stuff. Which I hear that thing is crazy, but you know, and then eventually, like, you know, I would it's always been like a dream of mine to be like a national writer, I guess, or, you know, at least kind of be on that forefront. So if I can at least be a good enough writer, which, you know, that's kind of, this COVID thing has kind of opened up that door for me to start writing more. If I can, you know, hit, like, I guess, continue to do that and do well in it and stuff and kind of build my following. If I could ever get like on a national broadcast or some sort of talk show or something, that would be huge. That would be awesome.
Once this gets big enough, we'll put a good word in ESPN for you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, they'll be like, who's that asshole? What?
He doesn't like the Falcons somehow.
No. You know, you guys want somebody to vent about the Falcons? I mean, I got your guy. You don't care about that asshole.
We have the Falcons' new manager right over here.
Yeah, so
President, CEO.
Yes. Arthur Blank, hit me up.
Alex, you did some research on all of our names.
Yeah.
You wanna share what you found?
Yeah. So Frankie, do you have any, or I don't know if you've looked up what your name means?
I have. It means truth or something like that. Yeah. And can I just say, this was totally not. You guys did not ask me this, but I have looked it up before. I think it's French.
Yeah.
And it means like truth or something like that, or telling the truth or something.
What I got is meant like free man.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
But it is French.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you the source. I couldn't tell you the source of where I found mine, but I have looked it up before just out of curiosity.
I feel like a lot of people do that just to see what their name means.
Isn't that a bit pretentious? I mean, we're like looking ourselves up in a way, you know. I don't know. Anyway, what are your guys' names? I mean,
so Michael is actually, his name is actually a question.
Hold on.
How appropriate.
But I'll give what I found.
Know.
I'll give what I found, and then you could give me the part you gave me yesterday. So when I looked it up, it meant it was a question like, who is like God? It's like meaning like who could possibly be as great as God. But Mike has a different translation that he.
No. It's the same thing, but it's more of like a, not to get like completely biblical, but you know, Michael was an archangel who preached who God was. He was just like a preacher, not only just like a high end, a general, but that's kind of like how you could explain that a little bit, like, because when we were looking up, we were like, who was God? Like, what does that mean?
That's all it came up.
Who's like God? So we had to do more digging, and we found that, you know,
he's also the one who defeated Satan up in heaven.
Yeah,
according to the Bible.
So he's like a preacher too, like who would, you know, he would ask people who's God, you know. I guess.
And then I got the boring one. I was just a defender of people.
You talk about?
Hey, we all need those.
Pretty cool.
We need defenders. What are you talking about? You sound like a warrior.
All right, be defeating the devil over here.
You need to come on with like face paint or something.
War paint.
I know.
Next episode.
Look at me. You think you're boring? I'm free man. I mean, come on. What are we talking here?
From France.
I'm just a guy roaming about. At least you have something to do.
I feel like every time, if this was like a movie and they were talking about like our names, you would just picture like when they mentioned Frankie's name, it's like a black and white shot, silent film.
Some man walking through
Man
France.
naked man. You see his ass cheeks just walking. Frankie
You know
the
what though?
Freak.
You know what though? That ass would win a Sundance Award.
Oh god.
You brought it up.
An
I
Oscar.
mean, come on. What are we talking here? That ass is gonna win a
It's
Sundance.
historical like a fat pig.
It'll win a Tony. It'll win a yeah. It'll win an award, man. Oscar, whatever you want. I don't know, but yeah.
Let's move on from asses right now.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about asses.
I have a magnificent ass.
So, me and Mike have talked about this, but not on the podcast yet. Tattoos. Do you guys happen to have any? I'll leave it up to Frankie first, since you're the guest on here.
Sure. I'd like to first say, Ted, if you don't mention your tramp stamp, then I hate you. So, to my tattoo, yes, I have tattoos. So, unsurprisingly, when I was 18, the first tattoo I ever got was a Falcons tattoo. So, when my daughter asked me, why don't you just change teams? Because I can't, okay? I'm branded. I can't. I'm stuck with them for life, okay? There's nothing I can do. I'm not going to pay for the laser removal. I don't have the damn money to do it, okay? So this is, whatever. It's just like a tattoo my boy did for me for my 18th birthday too. So that was my first rebellious act in my life. And actually, funny story, I didn't tell my mom, but there was one day where I had a fever, and my mom barged into my room, and I was asleep because I was feeling sick. So she went in there to kind of rub my arms down and stuff with alcohol. Which I don't know what the hell that was all about. I live in a Mexican family, so that sounded stupid. I'm Mexican, so I live in a Mexican family. I'm Mexican, so I have a Mexican family. Sometimes we just have these remedies where I can't explain to you why we use them. We just think they work, but she's just rubbing down some alcohol, and she saw it on my arm. And it's funny because I was half asleep, and my little brother was there. And she's rubbing up my arm, and she sees the tattoo, and she stops. And I'm still a little out of it because I'm asleep, and I just hear my brother go, "Uh-oh." And she's like, she says this in Spanish, but, I'll translate to English. She says, "What is this? What is you're marking yourself now? What are you doing? Are you going to be a drug dealer next? Okay. Are you going to be a gang member? You're going to go to prison when you're getting tattoos now?" So I got yelled at for not telling. And I was doing pretty good at hiding it. I hid it for a good month or two. So it took her a while to find it, but yeah, she totally flipped out. Anyway, that's the story of my first tattoo. And then after that, the only other tattoo I got a half sleeve of the I know, shocking. I'm a Batman fan, so I got the Nolan-verse Batman movie figures on my arm. So I have the Christian Bale Batman, I have the Heath Ledger Joker, I have Anne Hathaway on my arm, and I have Tom Hardy as Bane on my arm. So it's pretty cool. My boy Dirty Rick.
I was born in darkness.
Yeah, I was born in it, molded by it. Anyway, you look like you're in the darkness right now, Ty. Can I just say you're in that?
Dude, I am. It's getting darker by the minute.
I'm
gonna disappear eventually.
You look like you're in that place where Batman got his ass kicked by Bane, just right at the bottom of that pit when you shut the water off. I mean, the lights off. Anyway, so yeah, so
my landlord kicking me out.
Yeah, shut your power off. So that's what I have. If you guys have an Instagram and stuff or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So, and if you guys, I don't know if the listeners want to see it, but if they do, I can send you guys some shots, and then. Actually, that might be pretty cool to shout out my tattoo artist. I can't think of his Instagram handle right now, but he does incredible work. He's Ricky Gutierrez in Roseville, California. So quick shout out to him, Dirty Rick. It's my boy right there. I got to go back and finish my whole sleeve, which I do intend on doing. But yeah. So those are the tattoos I have. Ted, tell us about your tramp stamp.
I don't have a tramp stamp.
I didn't know about this.
Liar!
So my very first tattoo is the way they use a liar. Just
it's like liar.
And I don't know if you can see this. I would put a light on, but it's gonna look like I'm sunburnt. You want the light on, or do you like the darkness?
We
I
were
was born
born
in
in
the
the
darkness.
darkness.
How
You're
about
fine. Yeah, you're good.
that? All right. So the very first one is a sibling tattoo, and must I say, the artist did a really great job on my sister.
Great job on yours too.
Yeah, and then she fucking took crack. Did a line in the back.
Jesus.
It's cricket. Look at that. It's cricket.
For the
All
people
right.
who don't see YouTube, you want to explain it?
No,
All right,
it's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah. All right. So
Oh, I see what you're saying.
there's Roman numerals for first, second, and third. I'm clearly the oldest. And then you have the arrows and the arrowheads and the feathers. So I'm the oldest, so of course my arrow head and feathers are going to be more withered out. And my brother is the youngest, so his is like the newest, and then of course my sister is like kind of in the middle. So that was the very first tattoo I got. Kind of special because obviously it's a sibling tattoo. The very second one, bad boy.
That thing is cool, man.
What is it?
Yeah,
It's like a bear with horns. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll let you explain that.
I've seen it. Just so people know what it is.
bear, and it has the back of it is trees with birds coming up from it, and that one, I like where I come from, and I'm a very nature style boy, and California's been good to me. I wasn't gonna be like those typical like Cali Star and American flag, or not the American, but the California bear. I wanted to make it a little bit more personal, and I found that one. I really liked it, and then one of my favorite places, probably to hike because I haven't explored all of it yet, is Yosemite, and that's my third tattoo.
Half dome.
Thing's awesome.
Half dome with trees and like little sunrise or sunset, however you want to look at it. Probably the most painful one, especially in here because you got a lot of nerves. Very delicate area. That's one of my favorite places to ever hike, and hopefully one day we could all go on a hike and vlog it and share our experiences
It'll
with the
probably
world.
take me all day to get up one. My condition.
I am planning a fourth. Yeah, I can't count either. A fourth one and a fifth one. And as the time gets closer, I'm gonna for sure share that with everybody. How about you,
Very
Alex?
cool.
So I was thinking about it, but I'm pretty sure Frankie can attest to this because we were brought up like traditional Mexican.
Mm.
They do
Be
not
careful.
want anything on your body. Like they say it's a temple type of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm like, but it's my own body. Like I want to get something. I've thought about it, but I wouldn't know what to get. Is my issue.
My parents, they're okay with it, but like they didn't agree with what I got
Mm-hmm.
on any of them, and they're like, I mean, we might be whitewashed, but I mean, my parents still hold like that those values too. Like, clearly from generation things change, and I'm with you. Like, it's my body. I don't think it changes who I am as a person necessarily. Like, I'm not gonna, be like,
If anything, it tells your story. That's what tattoos are supposed to do.
Frankie guy who's gonna be a drug lord now apparently.
Yeah, drug dealer. Yeah. And can I just say something real quick on the topic? For I know at least I don't want to speak for Alex because, but if it's the thing with my mom and tattoos is that she kind of associates them with like drug dealers and gang members and stuff like that because that's what she grew up around and that's what she knew. She doesn't get that these days it's really more of just kind of a form of expression. And even though I do love my mom and I do respect her and stuff, it's one of those things like Alex said, it's my body and we I feel like as long as your tattoos are, responsible and stuff, like, in a sense, you're not going to draw stupid things where you can't hide them or whatever, unless you're like a, you're in a profession where nobody cares about your tattoos or whatever. For the most part, you're going to need to like at least put them somewhere where you can hide them or whatever. Anyway, but it's they're harmless tattoos. I mean, who am I going to offend with a Batman tattoo, like some Marvel crazy head that is going to want to start a fight with me because of Batman tattoo? That's what I say. And actually, I've talked to my mom's actually asked me, like, what if your kids have tattoos? And I actually wouldn't be opposed to it. You know, it's just one of those things where we grew up in a different era, a different time, a different place. It's, you know, I don't blame my mom for having her feelings towards tattoos, because I'm sure back then it was associated with, you know, drug dealers and whatever. But, you know, I'm going to tell my kids the same thing. Just don't tattoo your face. Don't tattoo somewhere you can't hide it, you know, and it should mean something. It should be something that's meaningful to you. People, you know, might think like, oh, why you have a Batman tattoo? How deep and could that be? But honestly, to me, it is a deep, meaningful tattoo. I identify a lot with that character. You know, I've had a lot of lonely times in my life, Ted. You know, you've seen me at my lowest points, and you know, I've been very sad, and you know, things like that. I've battled with that kind of stuff before, and you know, a character like Batman, who's, you know, he's just kind of like a loner, and he doesn't really have people. I felt a lot of that, so I identified with the character. That's why it's a deeper connection than just, oh, he's a Batman fanboy. No, not really. It's a little bit more than that. So, you know, and the Falcons tattoo, I will attest, is just a dumb 18-year-old getting his first tattoo. Because now I can't hide the damn fact that I'm a Falcons fan. Well, I can with a shirt, obviously, and sleeves, but you know, God, it sucks being a Falcons fan right now.
I took offense to that tattoo.
I'm glad you answered that. 'Cause I was actually, my next question was kind of explaining, and you already did. So I'm glad you took that upon yourself.
Do you guys plan on
Sure
getting
walk
more of
myself
them or not?
Yes.
So I do. I do want to. Like I said, the Batman tattoo is a half sleeve, so it does the top half of my arm. I do want to get the bottom also fully sleeved, so I have a full sleeve. But I want the bottom to be more about my family. I want to do a big family piece. That was a big deal for me growing up. I didn't really have aspirations to be like a professional athlete or any big dreams like that normal kids have. Like, I was kind of raised up with, like, my mom. I was really close to my mom, and she always was like, you know, you're gonna make a great husband because you're such a patient kid, and you know, you're really thoughtful, and I was a romantic. Ted, you've seen some of my romantic gestures. You know, you've been involved in some. You know, no, I'm not saying I was doing it to you, you moron. Those are private, okay? Shut up. Don't tell everyone the romantic things I've done for
Did
you.
it just get a little hot in here?
Oh, yeah, muy caliente. No, but it you know, I have kind of always been like a hopeless romantic and stuff, and you know, so she always kind of thought like, yeah, you're gonna make a great husband and a great father because you know you love you know, little things like that. Anyway, but that's why, to me, you know, I feel very successful in my life, for me, because I was able to achieve those dreams. Those were dreams of mine, to be a husband and have a family, and you know, I want to commemorate that with a big family tattoo. The only reason I haven't done it yet is because we're hoping to have one more baby. So, you know, once we have that next one, hopefully, God willing, everything goes through, and you know, everything, we have our healthy baby, I will be doing a whole family piece dedicated to them on that arm. So, at least one side of it. So, yeah, I will say that I do eventually also want to get a religious piece. I'm Catholic, and you know, I know you guys don't get into religion and stuff a whole lot, but I do want to get a religious piece as well, just because that stuff is kind of part of my identity. I mean, I'm not like a devoted, like, I follow Catholicism down to the note. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. You know, but it is something that is part of my faith and part of me. So eventually I do want to get that also tattooed.
Do you know what, or just you have something
Well,
thought of?
sure. Yeah, sure. I do want to get the Virgin Mary. As you know, in a Mexican household, that's kind of the main, one of the most prominent figures. I dare to say, at least even in my family, the Virgin Mary is kind of like the prominent figure, even before Jesus Christ. I mean, of course, we still, you know, pray to him and stuff, but and like for me, I always kind of pray to her first. And I don't know, maybe I'm a mama's boy at heart, but we see her as like, you know, like a mother figure and stuff. So So I definitely want to get her, and then actually I want to get an archangel, Michael. So I want to get. There's this image of him. Yeah, there's this image of him that I have on like a prayer that my uncle gave me to the archangel, and it's like him. It's this image of him like in like armor, and he's kind of like standing over a demon with like a sword kind of pointed at him. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but
I think I have a statue actually.
yeah. So I would love to get that tattooed on me. So maybe the Sacred Heart. I don't know. I mean, I'll just throw those ideas out to my tattoo artist and let him put it together. But yeah, Sacred Heart too, things like that. Just kind of put them all together in like a big piece, and go from there.
Mike
and Alex, no, not me. We never got to answer, or you never got to answer your question. Never got to answer the question. You were talking about family values and core beliefs. So, what would you get?
Oh, that's what I wouldn't know what I would get is the issue. Because I don't know. One of my friends, she did get like a rosary, and I thought it was really cool how they put it on her. Like they ended the beads on her, like her finger, and it went around her wrist. So I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. But I know it's gonna be permanent, so I want something I'm gonna like, because I don't know. I like changing my mind a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, Falcon tattoo over here can tell you. You better be damn sure. I don't regret my Falcon tattoo. I don't want to make it seem like I do. I don't. But it's just a funny little story. You know what I mean? It's just a funny memory when I mean, even if it's something like that, like I said, it should be something that means a lot to you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of people. That's a thing about tattoos with a lot of people. They don't want to get something on themselves that later they may regret, because later they're going to see it and be like, shit, why did I get this? You know what I mean? But I mean, even if you do, it's it like I said, at the time it meant a lot to you. Just don't tattoo your girlfriend's name on you or something. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm superstitious.
Like a curse. That's a curse.
Currently single and ready to mingle whenever anyone's ready.
Put
it out there.
Ladies.
You got my number, Alex.
Oh, I do like them chubby cheeks.
I agree with both you guys, because putting something on and then regretting it later is gonna suck, because it's gonna be hard to either remove, or expensive to remove, even if you want to try and remove it, and then covering it up is also very expensive too. And one thing I must say is, after the first tattoo, I was like, I need to research who I'm going to be getting my artwork done from. And so, like, not just by ear, but actually going in yourselves and talking to them and looking at their art is probably like a tip I would give anybody looking for tattoos.
Instagram is a great tool for that.
Yeah.
They upload. There's actually, sorry, Ted, I don't mean to cut you off, but there's actually, several other, not several, but other artists that I would actually want to work with, or them to work on me, because they look great. I mean, my guy is, he's kind of my first go-to, because, I trust him implicitly when it comes to like portraits and realism. But there's other guys who have like incredible script and things like that. They look awesome. And you're like, man, I'd love to get work done by that guy. So definitely do your research, see what kind of artwork people put out, and don't just show up one day and, because maybe you'll get something that you're happy with, or that you like, but you may see later on like, damn, I should have researched it more, because this guy could have done it way better, or this person would have made it look more real. And
the money does speak for its
sure.
Yes. Don't go to like somebody who's gonna charge you $8 for like a 2
yeah, don't go to the lady who's gonna do crack in the middle of your tattoo. Don't go to that lady. And can I just say really quick, I kind of laughed while you were explaining your tattoo. I wasn't laughing at that. I was just thinking about how your arrow is all like plucked and stuff, and it made me think about how you used to look when you were a closer. You used to pull your hair up.
I would be closing.
Oh, dude, your hair. You know who you look like? Yeah, except you had gel, so it just stuck that way. You look like the Doc from Back to the Future.
Yeah, those are some stressful nights, man.
That's why I was laughing. I just want to say it because I don't want you to think I was laughing at your tattoo. I was definitely laughing at just like how appropriate that was.
I honestly don't even remember you laughing. I was just trying to
I
remember
no, I
what
caught
to say.
myself, and and I don't want to make it sound like I was laughing at your tattoo. That's not what it was.
Dude, that was definitely me when like money would go missing at the end of the night, and you're just like scrambling
You're
everywhere.
like,
Where is it?
Can I
do
just-
how do
Yeah.
you-
And here's why that kind of stuck with me too, is because I've been there. I've been in those positions where like my hair is being pulled off my head too, and I've gone crazy. So I totally get it. And then the thing is, I've laughed at inappropriate times without knowing it. So that's why. So here's another little quick story. Currently, where I work, there's a guy who actually met with us, and I work in an office with two other guys, but during this particular instance, somebody came in to visit us, and he was telling us a story and about his childhood. And I was on my phone. He's kind of one of those guys who just kind of babbles on and on and on. So after a while, you start kind of tuning him out. So I just got on my phone and started looking at like Instagram and stuff. And I was looking at Instagram and I found a funny post, so I laughed. But unbeknownst to me, while that guy was speaking, and I'm like, yeah, making it sound like I'm listening to him. He's talking about how his dad died,
Oh,
and so he said, "So my dad died," and I laughed, but I didn't know what he said. I was just kind of yeah, and then my friend who was in the room with me texted me because he's not just gonna tell him, but he's like, "Dude, you just hella laughed when he said his dad died," and I was like, "Oh my god, dude, no way!" Like I felt like such an asshole. Like, I
anything?
was like, no.
just
No,
walked
he
out of
just-
the room.
No,
Oh.
he just stopped. He just stopped and like I guess like was like, really, that's funny. But then he kept telling his story, like so he didn't care. But see, like if he had never told me that, I wouldn't have noticed. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Have you guys ever laughed at an inappropriate time that you can think of?
No,
I
Probably not
can't
off
be
top
the
of my
only
head.
asshole.
Probably not the top of my head.
I don't think I can think of a time. I'm
For the
pretty-
next episode, then.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll ask people if I've ever laughed at an inappropriate time. I don't.
I mean, that again. That's why I wanted to tell you. So later, when you hear this, you're like, "That asshole was laughing at my tattoo." It's totally not doing that.
Frankie, I understand you had a question for us that you wanted
I
to know the
do.
story about.
Yes. So, can you please tell me how you guys came up with the name Motel A&M?
Dude, I was hoping he wasn't. But all right.
Because I mean, it's honestly you could have gone anywhere else with AM. I mean, AM PM radio. No, I guess not. You would have got sued for that. But AM radio, AM talk show. I don't know anything else. You went with Motel A&M. Can you please elaborate?
So, for those of you that are also wondering the same question, because it really doesn't make sense when you think about it, like motel, like why motel? But the story behind it was, when I think of like motel, and of course not in our area, like it's a place to chill in a way. After a long day, if you're traveling, it can be from either work or pleasure, or you go out with a bunch of friends from work and you go to a motel to party or attempt to party, and so that's where I kind of thought of it. There was a lot of other contenders, not really contenders, but I jotted some stuff down, and so did Alex, and I'll briefly mention the other names. Kind of the one that was kind of up there with Motel was Studio A&M Podcast.
Ooh.
Yeah, but we don't have a studio. And it really look more like motels than studios. We wanted podcasts to be in there because we are a podcast. We're not a radio show. We're not anything other than just a podcast, a talk show. But there was Grand Chimps podcast, and
There's a backstory.
there's a backstory to that one.
Okay.
Michael podcast, Chill Vibes podcast, the A&M Room podcast. Another inside one was BA6 Above and Below podcast. I mean, the names are just kind of like thrown out there, and I think if we had more time, we'd come up with like a more unique, more personal. But we were in such a rush to just upload the first episode. We were like, "What are we gonna call ourselves?" I think we only sat on it for like a day, huh?
Yeah.
Like, and I brought it up to him, and then he's like, "That one's good." And so we went with it.
I'll give Mike all
Okay.
the credit here. Sorry, Frankie. Um, I'll give him all the credit on bringing up the names, and he was like, "This is the names I have." And I looked at Motel A&M like, dude, I like that. It's like it's chill. It's like kind of down to earth type of thing where people just come in and chill.
Yeah.
Where the other ones were like, yeah, it like it fits us, but we'd like have to explain it every time.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, follow-up question. What's the backstory to the chimp one, and what is the what was it? BA6 above and below?
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
All right. So in Rocket League, that great, wonderful game that we used to play together.
Oh yeah, good times.
So, like one of the highest ranks is Grand Champion. But I think one time we were playing, and we were just like knocking these poor like 12-year-olds around the schoolyard, and they called it. Did they call us Grand Chimps?
So there's also another thing to it. So when you play like they say
Grand chimps.
when you play like a monkey on Rocket League, it means you're just like chasing the ball. Like you're
Yeah,
just
you're-
you're going crazy for the ball.
Like a ball
So-
chaser.
Ah,
So
I see.
and then a play on words on champion, we just called ourselves a grand chimp.
Mm-hmm.
But it was me, Michael, and Sid at the time, so we just called ourselves grand chimps.
Grand Chimps.
Oh, that's a good one.
And then BA6 above and below. So that one, above and below, kind of stands for like talking everything above BA6 and below BA6. And what that means is talking about everything and anything, pretty much like what our intro states. And BA6 is a joke that we also kind of fell on. We were watching this YouTuber, and in one of the videos, some guy comes up with like the most muffled, obnoxious radio or like mic, and he's like, "This is Blue A6," like Blue Angel 6.
Gotcha.
We always like make reference to that, and that kind of sick. That's like actually our club name right now, BA6, I believe.
There's a little more. The BA6 are the Blue Angels that are the Navy. So we would watch videos of like Flight Simulator, and it's all these dudes just not knowing how to actually fly, just flying around on a Flight Simulator game. Yeah. So Blue Angel 6 has stuck with us for no reason.
Yeah,
We actually when we went to San Fran, we bought each other a little like what is that? Like an 8x10 of like the Blue Angels going like over the
Yeah.
Golden Gate Bridge.
yeah. Good.
Wow. That. Aw, bromance.
Yeah.
No, that's really that's cool though. I mean, that the coming up with a name is really hard.
It really is, dude.
And it's like I said when I asked Motel A&M, and I know I said this at the top of the show, where they have certain negative connotations to them, but I mean, obviously it's a chill vibe in here. We're just chilling, and yeah, this is the nicest motel I've ever been to. You're the nicest people I've ever met here.
We
And
haven't
one
met the
thing,
other people.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of glad that we've kind of maintained. Well, we would hope that we maintain the fact that like, maybe you've had like a bad day at work. I'm not saying you, just like the general public. Maybe someone has a bad day at work, and they're like, "Man, I need something to cheer me up." Let me listen to that podcast. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's not the first thing, but I mean, someone stumbles upon us and they're like, "These guys are actually kind of funny,"
Yeah.
No,
No, yeah, totally.
capture that. I feel like we've been doing a good job of just kind of being chill and just talking about whatever. And I'm glad that the name, it does sound a little awkward, but now that everybody knows it, I hope it makes sense now. Because we've never explained the name. I've always kind of avoided the topic because I'm like, I'm not really sure, because we're still fresh. We're babies in the podcast world. And so like we're still discovering who we are and what we want to kind of project to the world about our podcast. So
Yeah, no, and again, this thing is really, you guys are really coming into your own. If I can just say, I don't know if I've already gone over this, but you guys are really coming into your own, and it's going great for you guys. I mean, I'm really proud of you. and I'm impressed because you guys are doing a hell of a job.
Thanks, man.
It's not been
Thanks.
easy.
Yeah.
No problem. No, it's not. It's here's the thing. It's not as easy as one might think. You know, you don't just sometimes conversation comes naturally, but when the record button's on and you know that you have viewers and stuff, like it kind of throws you for a loop a little. Can I just say when I first was doing my podcast, actually one of the first comments I got, and this was one of the things that nearly discouraged me. I actually had a lot of negative feedback. I don't know why. It was just me and my friend, but there was a guy who was just like, "You guys need to stop talking about this stupid baby stuff and grow up, man. You need to man up, you guys. What is this crap?" And somebody else replied to him like, "Yeah, what the fuck? These guys suck." So that was my first introduction to the internet world. So it's and at the time I was a lot younger, so that stuff really bothered me.
Yeah.
Now it wouldn't, but at the time it did.
What
I mean?
I think it would bother anybody because you put like a lot of work into doing just one episode or even getting the idea of an episode out, and when
Yes.
someone like attacks like the integrity of it, it does kind of sting a little.
Yeah, and it can be discouraging, and then it'll keep people from doing it, But and we need less of that in this world. Golly, guys, if you don't like this show, just listen to something else. Why waste your energy? Nobody cares. Okay,
You just lost like
Mind
your own
4
business,
listeners.
hater.
We lost all our
Bye,
listeners.
guys.
You'll get more.
Dang it! I was doing so good about remembering everything I want to talk about.
You got Michaeled.
I got Michael. I got myself. That's what it feels like. I'll remember it later. I'll probably bring it up on another one. And podcasting, you think it would come naturally easy to us, like you said earlier, like it's a conversation, but episode 1 to episode 10,
Huge difference.
Especially structure wise, we might have been on like the similar page episode 1, but now we know exactly what we're going to talk about, what might come out of it. Like I already know what to expect, and I think the most constructive feedback we've gotten so far was that we move on from topics too quickly, and it's kind of hard to gauge without like a live audience because we know only so much about certain things, and then like when we kind of feel like we've reached the end, then we'll move on. And one thing I've kind of given props to both of us is episodes like 1 through 3, all you heard was let's segue, let's talk about and now it's just naturally just coming out, and that's always good to see.
Yeah, improvements, guys. Improvements. Always work to get better, and you've done that.
Yeah, I appreciate your kind words, good sir.
No problem. Now, if I can be honest, you guys really suck.
All right, I'm editing that out.
What the hell? What is this? What you guys man up, you guys?
I'm censoring him now.
We've never been this soft. Anyway, do you have any other questions, Frankie? Anything you want to ask us? Because we are at what are we at, Alex?
We're
an hour and 22.
Yeah.
Oh man, I haven't even felt it. I just noticed it's dark outside.
I have.
Where did the sun go?
For you, dude? I know, right? I just want to turn my light off just so I can.
It hasn't even felt like an hour and a half. No, this is. When do you guys? I know the topic came up earlier. Do you guys plan on doing any live Twitch streams or anything like that so people can just hang out with you guys while you're BSing and playing video games? I mean, I've been as someone who's been a part of those environments, and I know how fun they get and how funny they are. That is something I would definitely recommend you guys do. And if you're a listener and a fan of this show, if that ever happens, tune in, dude, because that's some funny ass conversations going on in there.
Oh man, if only they knew our Rocket League conversations that haven't made it on here.
Bro, do you know how bad yesterday's episode would have been if people heard what I said, like when I said it?
Hey, authenticity, my friend. People crave it.
Nothing bad. It's just hilarious.
That's why it's a lot. That's why this whole thing is so funny, just raw.
Yeah.
It's so easy to edit.
So, do you want to take this, Alex?
Well, I did just want to like touch on like, I've always just had like a stream in the background or like whenever I feel like it when we're playing Rocket League, just because we've always mentioned that we bring up like the most random stuff when we're playing Rocket League because half of the time we're just like BSing around on the game. and just talking about the most random conversations, especially when Sid's here, because we don't get to hear from him that much. And
Oh, Sid.
so,
Can I just say this real quick?
go ahead?
Fuck you and your baked enchiladas. Those are not how you fucking do them. I'm sorry for dropping an F-bomb, you guys.
I love that.
That is not
I
how you
love
make
that.
enchiladas, Sid. If you ever said that to my face, I'd slap you. They're not baked. Exactly the way your mother-in-law made them is exactly the way they're supposed to be made, all right?
Well, Lord, we can't really talk about food. Food's a really touchy topic on this podcast.
Jeez Louise. And that struck a nerve because I can't eat enchiladas right now. I'd love to eat the enchiladas that his mother-in-law made.
I think Michael was the same way. He was like, at first it was like, oh, okay, yeah, you know what? I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and it's like, hey, wait a minute, why doesn't he appreciate, what she's
like
making?
A day or two later, I was like, I actually was kind of getting mad. I was like, hey, the other day, kids pick me up now.
Dude, when I heard that, I was getting pissed. I was like, that cannot be real. He's got to be fucking with us. Baked enchiladas. I will say, tacos al vapor are kind of made that way.
He's not getting.
No, they're made in they're kind of made that way. Like they're wrapped in foil, and no, they're not baked. They're, I don't know. I don't know enough about them. Maybe
al vapor means like steamed.
Yeah. So it's not made that way. They're kind of wrapped in, I guess, baked in steam. Mm-hmm. So I guess that would be one way, but you still don't bake them in an oven. No, no. What he said, you're 1,000% wrong. You and your mother, and I'm sure your mother's a sweet lady, but that is not how you make enchiladas.
I've never seen a tortilla go in an oven. That's all I'm saying.
No, I took offense to that.
It went up over that conversation.
I love enchiladas, dude, and I was offended.
So okay, back to what we were talking about, Twitch.
Twitch is something we're thinking about doing. Of course, this takes a lot of time out of both of our schedules. Recording twice, plus the editing, plus the re-listening, and then publishing, and then having to record again. The Halloween one was by far the funnest, but it was also a lot of work.
And stress.
It took 3 or 4 days to edit. And I know it might not seem like a lot, but Alex was editing, almost like a full-time job. So when we get bigger, we do want to offer that service, more of like a little premium service. But we've talked about it even before episode 3. I was like, we should do that. We should make a live audience where they listen to us while we record, and in the chat they could talk to us or ask us questions, and they could see everything, because when you appear as a guest, you see everything from bloopers. Sometimes you can see all the stupid stuff we talked about before. With JL, I had a really hard time starting the episode in the first place. I couldn't think of anything to say. Even with the Halloween, I was struggling. And the Halloween one's just so funny because I told Alex, do this if you think it's good, and then
I understood something else.
Yeah, and so that's probably my favorite part. Just see Alex like a little kid, makes my heart grow. But yeah, that's something we do plan on doing. And again, we want to improve. We want to keep going. We want to make each episode better. And right now, our hearts and souls are into this podcast, and we want to make sure that we maintain that integrity and keep going strong, I guess you would say.
Cool.
I concur.
All right.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. And again, listeners, if you guys support that idea, I would say flood the comments, whatever. Let these guys push them to do that, because I'm telling you, as someone who's been in those conversations, they're pretty funny.
Yeah, we're still small, but when we get bigger, we do want to do more interaction with our listeners,
like a Q&A.
Yeah. All right, guys. You guys ready for my deep question to you guys?
Deep thought of the episode.
All right, Frankie, you are the guest, so it might not be deep for you because you might have already thought about this, or maybe you haven't. Who knows? You ready?
No, only the world. The
You ready?
world may never know.
You got your blanket with you? Do you have?
But we're about to know because you're about to ask.
Yep.
All right.
All right. You ready?
Lay it on me.
What do you want out of life?
Oh, man. I don't know.
Oh, that was deep.
What do I want out of life? Yeah, I don't know. Next question. No, I mean, I think I would want, kind of what everyone wants out of life, happiness, a sense of accomplishment. I feel like we'll always have regrets and things that we wish we could have done and stuff, and that can often lead to like, a sense of failures and stuff. But I think as long as in your life you do what makes you happy and, you felt like when you look back, you did everything, you took advantage of your opportunities and you took chances when, maybe it wasn't smart to, and, things like that, you remember even your failures fondly. I think that is a sense of accomplishment and, happiness that you can look back on life. You know, for me, what would bring me happiness is to know that I've raised my kids as best as I can. That I want them more than anything to be good people, and I would never tell them how to think, or I don't want to control them and kind of make them follow my ideas and thoughts and stuff. But for me, if I can look back and say, you know what, I did my best, as a husband and as a father, and I feel like I wasn't perfect, but I was a good person, and I tried my best, with everything. That would give me that sense of accomplishment and happiness that I can, I guess, go to die with. Like I mean, that's what I want more than anything. Is to know that my kids are good people with good hearts. And even my daughter right now, she's 10. I tell her all the time, just be a good person, be better than me. She hears me cussing sometimes, and she sees me, even like my bad habits, like I bite my nails or I chew ice. I tell her, don't do it. Just because I do it doesn't mean you have to. I want you to be better than me at everything. Be a better person. Speak better. If I cuss, don't cuss. It's wrong. You don't have to follow my example. You can learn from it and be a better person for it. That's kind of what I want. That's what would make me happy in this life, knowing that my kids, were raised as good people, and that, I was able to make my wife happy. That one's a little trickier. But, if I can make my wife happy and, treat her right, forever. Because honestly, it's as a married couple, it is a little different than when you're dating. You kind of have to be way more considerate than ever before. And really, to anybody who's thinking about getting married or anything, don't think getting married, the battle's over and you can just cruise control it. It's not. It's a whole other war, my friend. It's not time to take your foot off the gas pedal. If anything, it's time to keep going. So, just if I can do, like I said, if I can do my best as a husband and a father, provide for my family and set a good example for them, that's what I would want out of life more than anything.
Damn, that's wild. No, I don't mean that disrespectfully. Damn,
that's a totally cool story, bro. Moment right there. I'll see you next time. I'll show myself out. I'm gonna get an early checkout from the Motel A&M.
Gotta apply that early leave fee.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What about you guys? Let's hear your cool story, Alex.
Oh no, mine's terrible. You're gonna make mine look bad. You want to take my spot on the podcast?
No. I'm not gonna be an asshole yet. I mean, no, I'm kidding, Alex.
No, I was thinking about it. I don't know, like, mine sounds kind of selfish. So, like, even in my head, when I was thinking about it, like, I don't want to be just another person. I kind of want to be remembered in some way or another. Like, I don't want to be, oh, that was just like, my grandpa. I want to be like someone that people know the name and the face behind it type of thing. But I don't know. Sounds kind of outlandish from where I'm at right now.
Cool story, bro. So anyway, no, no, I think you know what it's funny. I think a lot of people have that same desire to leave some sort of legacy behind because that's you want to even for me, like I guess if I had to say so, sure, if I can teach my kids, like I said, kind of like if I could teach my kids certain ideals in that way, you're passed down and your kids can say, hey, this is how my dad was, and they can tell their kids and their kids will tell their kids and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a sense of legacy. So mine's not that far out from yours. I think we all want some sort of legacy.
Yeah.
So don't feel selfish about it. That's what a lot of people would want is a legacy.
When you said selfish, that's I had nodded my head because I agreed because, Frankie pretty much already said, what I was already thinking. Because on the way home, from the urgent care where I had to do my drug screen, I was thinking about this question, and I don't know why it came up, but I just thought about it. I was like, what do I want out of life? And when I said it to myself, like it did sound selfish, but I mean, in a way, it's not selfish, as far as
What were you gonna say?
I know. What is your what's the end game here? Is it also a legacy?
Oh, are you like, what do I want out of life?
I thought that's what you were gonna tell us.
Oh no, I didn't know if Alex is done. I didn't want to cut him off.
Oh no.
Oh,
No,
I was just agreeing with you. But for me, I hope you guys would know I'm a very caring person, and for those of you who know me, I hope you think the same of me. I care about people.
This is getting awkward.
I gotta early check out.
No, you are. You're a good guy. You're a good guy. You're not a complete asshole.
But compared to like everybody else, and if any year's proven it, it's this year that we only care about ourselves and who we surround ourselves with. So my family, my friends, I care about what you guys do. But outside of that, if I don't know you, there's no motive for me to give you that same emotion. And I don't want to say not care because I care about everybody. I don't know people where I work, but I care enough to do my job, and I care to do it with a purpose. And so, kind of like the same with Alex. One of my goals is to be obviously a nurse. But I don't want to be just like just a nurse. Like I want to be, if someone says my name, they're like, "Oh, you know him? Like Michael, the one who works at this hospital. Like he's a good nurse." Like that's, I'm not trying to be selfish or like airheaded. I'm just very compassionate about what I do, and the knowledge that I'm picking up for like the past 3 years working in that field, really just motivates me to be the best that I can offer to the world, to my community, of course. And so I just want to be happy with whatever I do. If it's podcasting that I do for the rest of my life, I'd like to do that. But I also
that
want
would
to
be awesome.
Yeah, I would. But I would. Right now, my focus is being a nurse, and I want to be the best that I can be at that. And of course, like settle down and live a great life with a family. And exactly what Frankie said. That's something my dad told me. He's like, your goal is to be better than me, do better than what I could do for you. And so, thinking about that, that's always kind of like in my head, and that's kind of what keeps me going every day. Because there's times in all our lives where we're just like, shoot, like today's rough, today sucks, and it's always like my dad that always comes back to me. My dad's still alive, by the way. He's not dead. If I'm making it seem like that, but he's always like in my head, like do better than me, and so that's where I pick myself up. So I mean, what I want in life is to be happy and be the best version of myself I can for my family and friends, and kind of what Frankie said earlier is to be more positive, spread positivity in the world.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't be, if there's not enough light in this world, like I wanna be the person that helps shed more light on the good of people. I want to bring the best out of my friends because my friends are pretty cool, I guess. I don't know.
Can I piggyback a little on what you were saying that we both have said about our parents being better, or being better than our parents, I should say. Sorry, because my parents, they took a chance to come here, like straight, like they took a chance on this country back in the 90s, and I've asked my dad how he crossed and my mom because they came in at different times, and my dad would tell me he had to run away from like border patrol with dogs, and then I guess he hid between like the trailer and like the wheels, because I guess his dad gave him a tip that I guess dogs can't sniff through there or something. All they smell is tire, and that's how he pretty much escaped and like came over. And I'm like, dude, just to have that sacrifice and for him to tell me to be better, that can't be any more motivation I can have.
Yeah, to do the best that you can for
Yeah.
him, you know.
To not take this opportunity for granted, because as you know, Mexico is not exactly, the great. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of families over there that prosper and stuff, but for the majority of them, the reason they come here is because there's a better opportunity to make a better life here, and yeah, I agree with that. Like it would be a shame to just kind of squander that opportunity, given the fact that your parents sacrificed everything, you know what I mean, to come here and, like you said, take a shot on coming here and building a life here.
Yep.
That's something a lot of people don't they don't realize it. They think it's, oh, they're just coming over and doing this and that, or a lot of them are just trying to make a better life for themselves and their family.
Mhm.
Or they're escaping horrible living conditions, you know what I mean, and they're just trying to make a living.
Yeah.
Of course, every country has its knuckleheads. I'm not going to act like everyone who comes here is here to work or whatever, but a lot of the people are. And again, thankfully we're all of Mexican descent. I mean, our lives would be exponentially different, over there if we had never came over. Who knows what would come of our lives.
I could have been named Miguel.
Yeah. Me llamo Miguel. You would have been a singer.
Who knows,
A
man?
mariachi guy.
Man, that was a deep conversation.
Oh, that's why it's deep thoughts.
Yeah, that's
That's why it's deep thoughts, man. You bring it, and we all bring it, and here we are.
Alex, did you have deep thoughts?
Boy,
today?
that was anticlimactic.
Man, that's wild.
I have one. I don't have my notes up, but I do have one off the top of my head. What would be the perfect city to live in for you?
Me or Michael?
Frankie, you can go ahead.
Yeah, here.
Oh, okay. Sorry, because you're both looking at me on the screen. So, the perfect city for me to live. Well, the first one that comes to mind is Atlanta. Again, I keep harping on back to this point. I am a Falcons fan, so that'd be really cool. Kind of live in a big city or at least a suburb nearby.
Sorry,
but honestly,
I don't want to. I meant the question as like, what would you have in your city to make it perfect? That type of way. Sorry, I probably worded it wrong.
No, I was gonna say maybe some city out in the cuts, not the cuts, but maybe Switzerland. I've seen wonderful houses out there in the mountains in Switzerland, secluded from everyone. That would be perfect. But anyway, since that's not what we're talking about, a perfect city. Well, definitely somewhere where there's a lot of things to do. So like theaters and like a shopping mall, a lot of restaurants, different. That's a thing here. There's not a lot of diversity in the food choices. I know that our hometowns are finally getting like a sushi place. Ted, I know you're not crazy about sushi, but there's and I'm not going to encourage you to try the one in Atwater because I've tried it and it's not the best. But there is one in Turlock, Fuji Sushi. They're fucking great. Anyway, so a place with a lot of different kinds of foods, a lot of family friendly parks and stuff. Just a lot of things to go do differently. Some cool hiking places nearby. But again, that kind of lends itself to living in a big city, and I don't want to live in a big city. So if there's any way I could make a city to where you have all that stuff and not a lot of people, that would be like perfect. Because I'm kind of antisocial. Like I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but
you don't come off that way.
But it's because Ted's one of my best friends, so I open up to Ted. But like around new people and around a lot of people, I'm very shy and stuff. But like around my best friends, I can't shut up. That's so that's that's a trait of mine. But um, I would say that I would like to live in a smaller town that has big city I guess qualities. So that's what I would say.
What about you, Alex? What about your?
So I was liking what Frankie was saying, like, cause you guys all know where we're from. We don't have that much like stuff to do, so we're always texting each other like, so what do we do? And we're always the only thing to do out here is eat and probably just like hang out, which isn't a lot. And we always have to travel to go be able to go do something or food choices. And I know Michael and I are notorious to go out like 2 hours just to get some chicken.
Just to eat, bro. Just to eat.
So I don't know
Jeez.
if we had like good like restaurants around here. I mean, I like the small city vibe because I don't like big cities of just how congested they are.
Mm-hmm.
And the small city, I don't know. I think that's for me, but just give us something to do, man. That's the one thing. But yeah,
To be honest, I think I agree with like both your guys's dream cities. Food is probably the number one thing I would incorporate in my city. And then I like the beach too, so maybe a beach like
just
over
keep
there
it
somewhere.
keep it close to a beach,
Yeah, keep it close to a beach, but not overly crowded.
and then have mountains on the other side.
Mountains on the other side. I mean,
I mean, this is a perfect city, wherever it wants to be.
but I agree with Frankie. Like, I don't want too many people to be here because I hate traffic,
Oh yeah.
especially
Yeah.
those guys on the in Modesto. I hate Modesto traffic.
Oh, dude, I almost drove into oncoming traffic at Modesto.
Oh, ow.
See, okay, so I live in a smaller town, and I went up there because I had business to do up there. Otherwise, I'd never go up there for the same reasons because of traffic. There's some streets that are one way. I don't have any one ways where I live, so I missed the entrance onto the freeway, and I wanted to just turn around and go back. So there I go. I pull into the side, into the street. I mean, and then I turned back around to go back so I could get back on the freeway. And as I was turning, I see like 3 cars headed right at me. I was like, "Oh my god, what am I doing?" Slam on the brakes, back it up, and then just like got out of Dodge. I eventually found my way back on the freeway, thankfully. But yeah, no, I can't do big cities, especially not one-way streets.
Nah.
So
I definitely feel you on that because my sister had like schooling over there, and there is a one-way street that you do have to cross, and I didn't think Modesto would have one-way streets.
I know, right? It's crazy.
Out of all the cities or little towns up and down, like you wouldn't expect that place. That.
Like
It's
New
frustrating.
York. New York is crazy
let's not get
for that.
started. Let's not get started on Modesto, man. I have nothing against the people. I hate the traffic.
It's just a city and the traffic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like them. All right, I don't want. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We're about the end of our episodes, and we have actually 2 submissions. You want to go ahead and read the first one, Alex? Right, that we got written.
Yeah. So we got a fan request from Vince. He wants to know what's the story of the circle game. So I don't know if you guys know what the circle game is.
Like,
you put
hey
a-
Frankie, check out this bruise right here, bro.
Oh, I immediately thought of something else. When you said a circle game, I was like, "Whoa,
Oh.
I'm not a part of this." Is this Vince Magic Vince?
Yes.
Ah, Vinny!
shout out Vince.
Guy can play some mean magic card tricks.
Yeah. You want to read it, or you want me to read it?
Oh, you can read it. I know you did a little research on this.
He sent the boys on a field trip today, and we came back with this. So Vice actually wrote an article about this, and they were wondering the same question, like, where did this come from? Who did it? When? How? Where? All that good stuff. And the piece was written by a guy named Joe Bish. I'm like,
Wow.
Joe Bish.
That's not his actual name. That has to be like an author name.
Maybe it's an author name. I don't know.
It's like Yo Bish Mama or something.
Why would you, even if it was like a pen name, why would you go there? Yo, Bish. Who wrote this? Yo, Bish. You talking about my girl like that, bro?
Article
How
was
dare you?
written in June 29th, 2017. So he goes on the search to find it. He finds the answers on this old Wikipedia page, and it was actually from a post that had been deleted. I'm not very familiar with Wikipedia. I don't know if they show like deleted edits. But it referred to a gentleman. His name is Matt Nelson of Ohio, and he actually got in contact with this gentleman after searching. It wasn't very long, but he went through the process to look for this guy, and he gets him on a phone interview, and he asks like, "So you're Matt Nelson? You created the circle game?" And the guy's like, "Kinda," and he goes into it, and pretty much Matt Nelson does take credit for it, and he states that it's a really big popular game like in his town back in like the 80s is when it's suspected to have originated from. A lot of people in their hometown play it. And then he said like it was just a way for him to like hit his friends pretty much. And I don't know if you guys knew this, but if you're, I mean, I didn't know. So if you're able to get 2 fingers in the hole, that looks really wrong. 2 fingers in the hole, you actually get to hit the person 10 times.
Oh, I don't know about the one finger. It was just like a hit back.
No, like apparently he said he hit him 10 times.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how it took off. It actually featured in Malcolm in the Middle, and when asked about that, he's like, "I have no idea. I never watched the show." And so, that's kind of cool. I mean, he doesn't know. It was this game that he used to play, and it just kind of exploded, and we still play it today.
That was a good fan request. I would have never thought of the game coming out of like Ohio.
Right? The hometown is New Bremen, Ohio. So, I mean,
What an interesting little fun fact. That was like such a random thing. I would have been like, what?
Well, the funny thing is, he sent me a snap on Instagram, and he said it was doing this, and I couldn't read the message because it was like jumbled. I was like, huh? And then he says, I forgot what he said, but it was like it made no sense to me. He's like, history of this. I was like, do you want me to talk about it on the podcast? I'm not sure which, because I think he got from that like if I didn't want to talk about it, but I was like, no, like I had to reiterate like I'm not sure what you're asking me to do, and so he wanted to know about it, and he didn't know what this was called, and I didn't really know what it was called until I actually had to like search it up. It's called the Circle Game. So thanks, Vince. Thanks for sending us on that little field trip, and it was super interesting. Thanks for listening. And number dos. So I kind of feel bad for this one because I've been meaning to bring it up.
It's not on the notes.
It's not. It's actually a personal. It's a fan request but it's my personal story that they want me to tell.
Ooh.
Spooky.
And this happened at Hell.
Oh,
So shout out to
good old Hell.
shout out to.
You should tattoo the Hell logo on your back.
No, I'm good.
Alex.
I'm good.
Oh no, God no.
If you don't know what a tattaoo to get,
That's
what you should
definitely
get.
not.
All over your back, like the 50 Cent tattoo, which is all one humongous absurd piece.
It'll take like a whole day.
Shout out to Michelle. She actually wanted to talk about it like on the 6th episode, a long time ago.
But we're on 10.
Yeah, and I keep thinking we're going to talk about Hell, but we don't. I thought we were going to talk a little bit more about it, and I was going to bring it up. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to shout her out so we get this story out of the way, because she isn't the only one that's been asking me about the story. So when I was promoted at Hell, you go through the trials of retribution and all that stuff to become this magnificent leader. And on the very first day of closing, let me tell you, it was busy, lines out the door. You have it was like in the summer too, so it was hot. It was like 105 type temperatures.
Ugh.
And in our area, we hate those temperatures. I can't stand those temperatures.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is my first night on my own. This gentleman gets upset because he just wants to make one purchase, and it's this very small purchase. And people are like, "No, you have to wait in line." And so he's like, "I can't just order that." I'm like, "Dude, you gotta wait in line. There's a line literally out the door." You know what this dude does? Gets his fist, punches the door so hard it comes off its hinge. Now that door doesn't get replaced till 2 in the morning. So from like 5 p.m. till 2 a.m., that thing is just hanging lifelessly. And then I had to go talk to a mother who was being harassed by another couple. Like they were, that one couple was trying to make their kids fight. And you know what happens? I go out there and I'm like, "Hey, sir, just don't stop harassing people." And they're already leaving. And they come up to me, and people are like, "Oh, you're kind of in the wrong for telling them that you can't do what they can't do." I'm like, and so we're at hell, and you have to respect the rules. And so, why'd you look like you threw up?
Oh, me? No, I'm just
Yeah.
looking around.
And so, pretty much, the dad, I guess, comes up to me. He's like, "What, fool?" And I was like, "I'm not gonna fight you, bro." And he comes up and just shoves me. And his wife or girlfriend's like, "Babe, stop! No, leave him alone." I was like, and then a coworker comes out and she's like, "Hey, you got Cameron Yarn?"
Do they really sound like that?
They do.
Oh my god.
They did.
Oh,
And
man.
you know, it was funny because like watching like clowns get into like a little tiny car. They all just like opened whatever door they could and just piled in. So we go back into hell, and later that night, and I think a similar situation had happened to Sid, where a kid broke his arm while like on that same or on my night. So those 3 events happened in that day. Door hinge off for like majority of my shift. I got shoved, and a kid broke his arm, all in my first night. And I
And
was
then
like,
incident report for that kid.
yeah, incident reports. And if that didn't foreshadow the next 3 years of my career at hell,
And you said, "Let's keep doing this."
let's keep going. This could be fun.
This is what can possibly go wrong.
You know what? I can't get any more worse to this.
So, oh, dude, that night or day, I remember it very, very well, and not traumatized, but it just makes me laugh that I took the job serious enough to like deal with all that. I'm like, I need this paycheck. I'm still gonna work here. So thank you, Michelle, for making me tell that story.
It's funny that kind of resembles my last day actually there in hell. So at this point, I'm just kind of mailing it in. Don't really care anymore because I'm like, I know this is my last day. I'm out of here. But yeah, it's pretty crazy because before I came in, my old buddy Spatch had to break up a fight. It was funny because I actually went back and looked on in the cameras to see, and you just see him like bust on the scene. He just get in the middle of it, and he's a big dude, So I can just picture him now. Just, "Hey, hold on, guys, you can't be fighting in here, dog. You gotta take it outside." He just jumps in the middle of the action, separates him. He comes in to save the day, and I'm like, man, look at Spatch go. And I'm like, well, that has to be. Because when you're in hell, you think you get at least one bad thing that's going to happen. Like one thing a night that's going to make your night go sideways. So I'm like thinking, okay, I'm walking in, I already got the bad thing out of the way. I'm going to coast it from here. Well, what happens is the internet goes out, so there's no card payments. So I'm getting backlash from customer after customer about how much we suck and all this stuff, which is, that's always great. And then there was actually this guy who walked in that night with a Little Caesars pizza, and he was eating his pizza in the lobby. And I don't care. I'm not like hey, you can't be doing that in here. That's competition. I don't care. I'm like, whatever, dude. Just don't bother me. But this other guy walks in, sees him eating there, and starts enforcing the rules. Well, it's not even a rule. But he's like telling him, "You can't eat this crap in here." And the guy's like, "What the hell? I'm just enjoying the pizza." And the guy's like, "No, you got to get out of here. You're not in my store." It's like, okay. Don't flatter yourself, okay? This is not your store. You're a customer here. Yeah, you're a regular, but you're a weirdo. So he's in there telling this other guy, and I don't know where it happened. I went to break. I was like, whatever. I was on my break, came back, and another manager was like, he has a gun, and I was like, what? What's going on? So I walk in, and the customer's greeting there at the door. He's standing right in front of me. This guy who I've just been told has a gun, and I'm walking in from my break like, oh, okay, it's right here. And the guy's like, hey man, look, I'm just trying to like tell the guy I can't be eating here. I don't want to cause any trouble, this and that. And I was just like, okay. I was like, everybody let's just calm down. I was like, no need to bring in a gun, you know? And he's just like, oh, I don't want to cause trouble and this and that. And the guy's like, the other guy who's eating the pizza is like, he threatened to kill me. He wants to kill me. That's the guy. And my co-manager's on the phone with the cops, obviously, and the cops just bust in behind me. I was totally startled. I'm like,
get out of the way!
I'm like looking at this guy like, okay, dude, I'm not trying to get shot over this. I'm happy to let you go, but my co-manager's like, no, don't let him go. And I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna get shot on my last night. I'm trying to get out of here as fast as I can. So this cop busts in like an action hero behind me, totally startles me because I wasn't looking in his direction.
DPD.
And he's just like, yeah, DPD, servant of justice. And I'm like, oh my God. So he goes in there, and my co-manager's like, it's him. They grab the guy, walk him out the door, and I was just like, what the hell just happened? I don't know, but apparently I'm the manager running the floor, so I handled it. Therefore, kudos to me. So then I'm like, okay, great. You know, that guy's taken care of. It's all over. I go back, and the guy overheard me talking to my little brother about it because my little brother worked there too. And he's like, hey man, you think it's funny? You think it's funny that happened to me? I was like, no, I was just telling him. And I was excited because I found a Bulbasaur outside and you cut my break off early. I also used to play Pokemon Go. And at the time, Bulbasaur was like a rare Pokemon. So I was telling him, dude, I was excited. I found a Bulbasaur and I couldn't catch him because I had to come back in here and deal with the pistol guy. So he thought it was like making fun of him, and I wasn't, although it is pretty crazy. And then he kind of dropped in. He was like, okay, whatever. He goes into the bathroom, is in there for like 20 minutes. I don't know what he's doing. I don't really care, but he came back out completely different. Dude, he looked like he was on heroin, totally high, like just out of it. Like he reached down to grab his pizza, but he bent over and like put his face in the box. Like, I guess, I don't know if he was seeing like triple or double visions. But he like got really close to the box to grab it. Yeah, just like that. And I went over. I was like, okay, sir, you know what? We're closing. You got to go. You got to get out of here, you know. And he's just like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, you know, he walks out. And I was just like, oh, my God. And then the cops came and arrested him for being high on drugs. So we're like, dude, what's going on? So a little bit later in the night, from the window, okay, I'll just say that. You know which window I'm talking about. You know which window. The one where the second window, I'll say.
Yeah.
We saw him, the guy who had the gun, running down the street screaming, okay, I'm going to start cussing here, so if you want to start bleeping me, it's totally cool. Fuck this, fuck me, I'm a bitch. And then he ran into our parking lot and started saying it again. Yeah, I'm a bitch. I'm a fucking bitch. And I'm just like, I went out there and I was just like, hey, man, calm down. I'm like, dude, this is my last day. Like, in my head, I'm like, please don't ruin this for me. I just want to go home. And the guy's like saying, yeah, that's right. I'm a bitch. And I was totally going off the rails. I was like, whatever. The cops came back for him. I was like, in my head, I'm like, okay, there he is. I told him, I'm like, hey, this is the guy. And in my head, I'm like, how the hell did you let him go? Like, what the? Did he escape your grasp? Like, what? He told you to look one way? He just ran away? What happened here? This is unacceptable. Anyway, so I finally go back. Everything's back to normal, thankfully. The night just ends, you know, and that was the last night. And I remember thinking, like, dude, I've just totally checked out. I am mailing it in. I'm just sitting in the office, like, not helping the closers. I don't care. I'm, like, just counting down the seconds. I'm almost out of here. And that was my last night. So, you know, your first night, you know, It's pretty comparable. I mean, that's,
yeah.
it's hell. Hell is like I said, it's a funny little chapter in my life.
I was gonna say, like, hell gets a certain type of breed of customers. Like, where the hell did they come from, dude? Like, you gotta be a different type of person to walk in there.
And we could talk about more hell stories any other day, but you know, there are so many characters.
Oh, yeah.
And so many. Do you remember the hooded figure, Ted, walking through the fog on New Year's Eve? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
New Year's Eve. Real quick. I know we gotta wrap up. Real quick. We're outside after closing, playing, and we have a caution wet floor sign outside the door. Because, you know, I think they just mopped and it was wet and it was cold. He's walking around in circles, just circling the sign, just outside by himself in a hood. He goes off and it's really foggy. Okay, so we're done closing, we head out, and like we're just BSing outside, and you just hear off in the distance, and we're like, what the hell? And he's walking through the fog with his hood on, looking like the fucking Grim Reaper.
The Grim Reaper, we call them.
And he's just walking through, minding his own business, belly hanging out, not giving a fuck about life, and just walking through. For some reason, he had a random blanket and like a bouquet of flowers. It was the oddest thing.
It was pretty
just
random.
Another night in hell.
How he just walked up to us. Well, I'll never forget. Like, we were all just chilling outside, and all we hear is, we're like, what the hell? We look like this figure walking toward us.
Dude, it was pretty crazy. It was wild.
Oh, sorry. All right, guys. It's been a wonderful episode. It's been long. It's been great. I know we keep going.
So much fun.
So it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for coming on and joining us, and bringing the best out of us.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on. I hope your listeners enjoy this episode because we had a lot of fun doing it, and if you guys want me back on, I mean, let these guys know. These bozos are running the show here. If not, if you'd like me to, never be on again because I'm a loudmouth asshole, that's fine too. Just don't tell me. You'll hurt my feelings.
All right, guys.
Seriously, thanks for having me on. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for coming on. Alex, you got anything you want to say?
That was a lot of fun. I would definitely want Frankie back on for more hell stories.
We could do a whole
just a whole hell podcast.
hell episode. A hell episode. That's all we could do.
Dude, that would be epic. And we got to get Spatch on there for that one.
And Sid.
Hey, bro, thanks for telling me again, dog.
We'll get the whole gang back together one day.
Oh, that'll be so much fun.
Oh,
fuck you, Louie. Can I just say before I go?
Yeah.
Again, guys, this was awesome. To everyone out there, do something nice for someone. Just a random act of kindness. Help make the world a better place. You never know. You might make someone's day.
I agree.
Yeah. Any other shout outs you wanted, Frankie?
Yeah, you've had 10 of them already.
Like to shout out to myself. Hell of a job on this podcast, man.
You did good.
You fucking nailed it.
You did a good job. Good job. We had our concerns before. Well, not even concerned. We were just curious because we're like, how's it gonna go?
What are we gonna
What's
talk
it gonna
about?
be like? What are we gonna talk about?
Oh man, this
good.
turned. Yeah, no, it was awesome. There's not even any silences or nothing. It was just a fun conversation, and time flew by. Like the guys say, we hope that you can listen to it and enjoy it, and hope it'll make your day better. Listening to our suffering.
I think the only awkward part is always saying goodbye and starting the episodes because we never know what to say exactly.
I never wanted to end half of the time.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Bye.
All right, guys. Everybody, have a good night. Stay safe. I'll see you all later. Next episode.
That was wild.
Bye, guys.